Welcome to Reef Tek Lab. Are you staring at your reef tank right now, watching your investment get smothered by dinoflagellates? You've tried the blackouts, you've tried the bottled bacteria, and you're about ready to give up. I know that feeling of helplessness when a dino nightmare just takes over. We are reefers. We don't just want a clean tank, we want a thriving ecosystem. But the problem is, most of the advice out there is just guessing. We need an actual, tactical, scientific approach to take our tanks back from these pathogens. That's why I spent some time in the lab developing the strategic blueprint for reef dinoflagellates. I've documented just about every phase I can think about that can help you, from all the way from identifying under the microscope to the final sand reset. I also have a few videos on YouTube that you can reference in addition to this watching this video. So you don't have to guess anymore. I put the exact protocol that saved my system into a 13-page ultimate guide for killing dinos, which is kind of like a cool tactical intelligence report. So together, we're going to look at the phase system I developed. I put together a specialized technical briefing that's fun to watch, and it breaks down the biology of the enemy and the logistics of the cure. This isn't just a how-to, it's a mission plan for your reef tank. So guys, pay very close attention to the video, especially the logistical part of this video. And if you want to download the PDF right now, go to ReefTekLab.com and you can subscribe and get it for free. And now let's look at the video.
All right, let's get straight to it. Your reef is under occupation. An invasive biological entity, Dinoflagellates, has established a foothold. This briefing is designed to give you the tactical protocol you need to identify, stabilize, and, yes, permanently eliminate this threat. Look, the standard response to this invasion is just flawed. Throwing random bottles and just praying for the best, that's not a strategy. It's an admission of defeat. This approach just wastes your resources, leads to more losses, and actually makes the enemy stronger. So we're going to abandon that reactive posture for a proactive, intelligence-driven strategy. Our operation is going to proceed in 6 clear phases. First, we start with intelligence and recon. Then, we secure our supply lines through nutrient stabilization. After that, we're deploying our biological infantry, activating advanced weapon systems, and only if absolutely necessary, we'll engage the nuclear option. We'll wrap up with a full debrief and download of the intel. Okay, initiating Phase 1, Intelligence. Let me be perfectly clear. Positive visual confirmation of the hostile entity is the most critical step. We do not, I repeat, do not engage without knowing exactly what we are fighting. Here's our first potential target, Ostreopsis. When you get it under the microscope, what you're looking for is a very distinctive teardrop-shaped cell. Its key giveaway? It spins like a top. This one's the largest of our primary targets, measuring between 60 and 100 micrometers. You need to confirm that visual ID. Moving on to target number 2, Procentrum. This cell is oval-shaped and it shows a slow, kind of deliberate movement. You'll usually find these guys embedded inside heavy, snotty mucus formations. It's a medium-sized target, falling in the range of 35 to 60 micrometers. And here's our third hostile profile, Amphidinium. The dead giveaway for this one is a unique beak-like structure. Now, this is a benthic species, which just means its main theater of operations is your sandbed. It's also the smallest of our primary targets, coming in at 20 to 40 micrometers. This brings us to the prime directive of this entire operation. And I want to be absolutely crystal clear on this point. You never, ever alter your system's biology or deploy any treatment without a confirmed microscopic ID. Why? Because misidentification leads to using the wrong countermeasures. And that's not just ineffective, it can cause catastrophic collateral damage to your reef. So once the target is identified, we proceed to Phase 2, nutrient stabilization. Before we deploy any of our forces, we have to control the battlefield's environment. That means securing the enemy's supply lines and reinforcing our own. You need to maintain these operational parameters, no exceptions. Nitrates must be held in the 5 to 10 parts per million range. Phosphates have to be stabilized between 0.03 and 0.10 parts per million. See, these levels will fuel your allied biology, the good guys, and starve out the dinoflagellate invaders. And a critical piece of intel here, allowing your nitrates to bottom out is a major tactical error. When that happens, your beneficial bacteria and all the good microfauna starve, and that creates a power vacuum. This is the exact condition dinos are engineered to exploit, allowing them to just multiply like crazy and expand their territory. Don't let it happen. And that brings us to Phase 3, biological deployment. With the environment stabilized, it's time to deploy our living assets. We're talking a multi-tiered biological strike force specifically designed to engage the enemy directly. Okay, your strike force has 3 distinct squads. Squad 1 is your cleanup crew. Think of snails as your frontline infantry, there to graze and clear out enemy formations. Squad 2 is your special ops unit, benthic copods. These guys actively hunt and consume individual dino cells. And Squad 3 is the bacterial wall. This is a heavy, diverse dose of beneficial bacteria to create a biological shield, basically occupying all the real estate and outcompeting the enemy. Now, Phase 4, weapon system activation. It's time to escalate. If those biological and environmental controls aren't enough, we engage heavy ordnance and advanced tech to really degrade the enemy's core capabilities. We have 2 primary weapons systems at our disposal. System 1 is UV sterilization. This is highly effective against Ostreopsis, which loves to enter the water column at night. This system needs to be running 24/7 at a slow flow rate to maximize its kill time. Then you've got System 2, the total blackout. This one targets all photosynthetic dinos by simply cutting off their energy source. It requires a full 2-day blackout of the entire system. Here's another tactical note: physical extraction. Using 5-micron filter socks allows you to directly mechanically remove free-floating cells right out of the water column. It's a great way to just keep chipping away at the enemy's numbers. Think of it as a constant, low-level attrition tactic. We now need to address Phase 5, the nuclear option. Let me be clear, this protocol is a last resort. It's reserved for those deeply entrenched, persistent enemy forces, like benthic Amphidinium, that are resistant to every other measure you throw at them. The protocol itself is a 3-step, very controlled process. Step 1, extraction. You're going to siphon 100% of the sand bed out of the system. Step 2, purification. You'll rinse that sand 3 to 5 times to mechanically strip away all the mucus, waste, and toxic dino cells. And finally, Step 3, re-entry. You reseed the purified sand with beneficial bacteria before returning it to the system. This is a total purge of the last enemy stronghold. So, what's the objective here? It's to move you from being a frustrated observer to a protocol-driven commander. You have to stop relying on guesswork and faulty memory. You need to deploy a system that actually protects your livestock, secures your ecosystem, and, well, guarantees victory. This has been a summary of the operational blueprint, but the complete 13-page tactical manual is available for immediate download. Just go to ReefTekLab.com to get the full guide and subscribe for ongoing intelligence updates. It's time to stop the losses, secure your ecosystem. Act now.